Hey guys, last week I grew some broccoli sprouts. These are incredibly beneficial due to a compound in them called sulforaphane. It was my second attempt at making them, and I thought I'd also make a video because the videos I watched on how to make them missed out on a few things that I thought were worth knowing. If you want to know all the health benefits of broccoli sprouts, then the best video out there is by the amazing Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and I've linked to that in the description below. It's a really comprehensive video, but the key point is that sulforaphane has anti-inflammatory, anti-aging and anti-cancer properties, as well as being beneficial for cardiovascular and brain health. So it's a great addition to the diet. So let's get started. You only need two things, a sprouting jar and organic broccoli seeds. I got these both off Amazon. It was £5 each for the jars and £4.50 for the seeds. Here's where I ran into my first issue, how much of the seed you add. First time I put in way too much. I put in 2 tablespoons, ended up using the second jar, then creating a third container out of a yogurt pot. It was a complete mess. So this time round I weighed it because not all spoons are exactly the same. So I used 6 grams and that filled half of the jar. The jar is a pint jar, so about 12 grams of seeds would produce an entire pint in terms of the volume of the broccoli sprouts. 6 grams of seeds ended up producing 34 grams of the broccoli sprouts. So that's another consideration. How much are you planning to eat? It is the same amount of effort whether you're making 10 grams or 100 grams, but it will determine how big a jar you use or how much seed you use each time, depending on how much you're planning to actually eat. Back to the process. So you put your seeds in the jar, you add water, and you're going to leave that in a warm, dry place for 12 hours. You have to make sure everything is clean because you're basically creating conditions that are ideal for growth. So wash your hands before you're dealing with anything. And for that reason, you also have to make sure that wherever you're putting it, like a cupboard, is also quite clean as well. After 12 hours, you drain all the water out. So from then on, they're going to be moist, but not sitting in a pool of water. If you have a sprouting jar like I do, turn it upside down in a bowl and leave it in the cupboard so the water can run off. After that, it's nice and simple. Every 12 hours, you're going to take them out, fill it with water, drain it a minute later, and again, turn it upside down to allow that extra water to run off. If you're quite forgetful like me, I recommend setting an alarm. Also making one of the 2 times of day one of your meal times because you're in the kitchen already. So for me, I did breakfast time 7:30 a.m, then 12 hours after 7:30 p.m, and I just did that every day. On the second day, I came across something that nobody had mentioned, which was fluff growing on them. I initially thought it was mold, but after reading, I found out it's just little hairs that the broccoli sprouts create in order to maximize water intake. You'll know it's hairs and not mold because as soon as you add water, the hairs disappear. So here's how my sprouts looked for me every 24 hours. And 5 days after I started, so 4.5 days after the long soak, they were ready. The first time I left them for 7 days, but they didn't look any different in the final 48 hours. So on the morning of day 5, I didn't rinse them because you need to dry them out for storage. I spread them on a plate and put them in my conservatory, and it took about an hour for them to dry. Before you eat them, you need to remove the little seed shells. Unless you're particularly anal, you won't get every last seed shell. But a good method is putting them in a bowl of water, giving them a little swirl, because the seeds float to the top and you can fish them out. This was super messy first time round. I tried to dry them out again after separating the seed shells, which was a real pain. My strategy now, as a fully fledged expert, is to put one portion in a bowl of hot water and separate them just before I plan to eat them. The research says you can triple the bioavailability by heating them for 10 minutes at 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. 2 more things, the smell. It's kind of musty even when they're fresh, so that's normal, they haven't gone off. Another thing, storage. It's up to a week in the fridge. Mine actually went off about 4 days into it, so up to a week does not mean a week. I've heard that you can put them in the freezer. That would be particularly helpful if you're just going to put them in a smoothie anyway. But I haven't got around to doing that yet. Thanks for watching, guys. As I said, check out Dr. Rhonda Patrick's video on sulforaphane and then all her other content, because if you like health and nutrition, she is really helpful for that kind of stuff. Cheers.